What's up, everybody? Welcome to another Raid Shadow Legends video. It's been a long time since my last video, and this video right here has been a long time coming. So let's get right into it. We got my boy Angar right here, and Angar is getting a buff, is what I heard. We got Fortis and Angar getting the next champion rebalance coming in. So you guys know I've always liked them. Saphira from HH Gaming fought my Angar defense one time, and this is what he had to say about him.
This is the thing. Everyone says Angar's terrible. If he gets going like this, he ain't terrible. Angar's winning this, basically.
Alrighty then.
Saphira most definitely gets it. Let's check out this guy's kit real fast. We got the A1 Exacerbate. Attacks one enemy 2 times. Places an extra hit if the enemy has a Provoke debuff. Damage is based on HP. Then we have Infuriate. His A2, his only other ability. Attacks all enemies. Places a Provoke debuff on them for 1 turn. Places a 30% reflect damage buff on all allies for 2 turns. Also places a counterattack buff on this champion for 2 turns, HP based as well. Then that's a 4-turn cooldown, and it goes down to 3 when booked. Then his passive ability, Bravado. If an enemy with a Provoke debuff attacks, has a 40% chance of placing a Provoke debuff on them for 1 turn. Each hit taken will reduce damage taken by 5%, up to 30% in 1 round. So this is a very, very good passive skill right here. It gets up to 50% when booked up. Now, if we could get that a little bit higher, he'd be absolutely amazing. Maybe we can get the A2 to get a group team-wide counterattack buff. I don't know what else exactly they could do with them, but I'll tell you what I do with them. Build-wise, I typically go with an offensive build with this guy. Angar can be very useful for most early to mid-game accounts all over the place, but I found the most use for him to be in a Doom Tower and the arena for my account personally. I'll start with some classic arena fights, and then I'll go over the rest of his gear, stats, and masteries. His natural arch nemesis seems to be the Arbiter, one of the best champions in the game and one of the best you can get for free. Everything about the Arbiter team comps is easily countered by Angar and his kit. I'm running him in Stone Skin currently. It just helps facilitate him getting to his turn easier than before, which is pretty much the primary goal of this entire team comp. The first set I loaded my Angar up with after ripping him was the set that made the most sense at the time. Since all my gear at the time was very low level and my account had just started, my best set at the time was my lifesteal gear. Found out very quickly that Angar is extremely tanky, and not only that, but his counterattacks could really outdo some damage, especially against weaker enemies like nukers. With the lifesteal set, it could also heal him up quite nicely. Early on, Angar was taking over my arena teams. I wasn't 100 days into the game yet, and I found myself hanging out in the platinum levels of the arena, only losing to some of the most meta champs and teams in the game. It wasn't a place I felt I should be at so early in the account development, but I was there, and it was all due to Angar. Angar just took over fights with his Provoke, A2, AoE. After that, the counterattacks kept him healed up enough to win fights. In the early days, Angar didn't have much support cast helping him out. He was pretty much the star of the show, and I built teams around him to win. I mainly brought in champs to supplement him getting his turn. Turn meter boosters come to mind, champions with buffs, like Lady Kimmy, for example, who was one of the first guaranteed legendaries that came out when I first started playing. I especially liked having anyone with a shield set to start the fight. Long before bolster, I used Hope, Miscreated Monster, and others to keep shields up. Angar really did all the work early on, but it got better once I started adding some more damage to the teams. Eventually, I told others about him in my clans, and other people started seeing the positive results as well. Angar was underrated, and people weren't expecting him when they saw him in the arena teams. He could be used as a solo defense to climb up Gold 5. We'd actually go through the entire defensive cycle and to see win. It was pretty crazy. Angar has been a steady progression since getting him. The premise of his build has never wavered, but the evolution of his build has always been constantly changing, especially when it comes to support champion selections. The real goal of any Angar arena team has always been to get Angar his turn, as quickly as possible. Back before I had better champions, we let him do the rest of the work. Unfortunately, it doesn't quite cut it anymore, especially in Platinum Arena. He will need all the friends and help he can get, but the premise is still the same. Get a turn, land a Provoke, the rest will be history. Angar has had tons of great complementary champions over the years I've been playing. One of his new favorite friends is the Monkey King, Sun Wukong. Great with the buff strip on the A3. The sheep is really nice too. He revives himself plenty, if need be, because Angar is super hard to kill. So I usually pair him with defensive-based nukers, like you see Snick Track in the video right there. Guys with Stone Skin set, like Hefrak. And then someone like the Monkey King who can revive himself is very good as well. So one of the other things I like to do with Angar is use him to win the advanced quest of beating a team with a higher team power in the arena. You can do that solo versus one person, or you can do that against an entire team. Just be aware that sometimes his AI is kind of stupid. Like, I had to do this fight on manual against Mesomel because his AI wasn't programmed to use his A2 against the Mythic Champions when it was on full auto. So beware of that. All right, let's go over the gear, stats, masteries, and all that good stuff. Stat priority-wise, I would say a slow Angar is a dead Angar. You don't want your Angar to be slow, you want him to get a turn. Everything about the build is predicated on getting a turn. If you don't get a turn, you're probably dead. Doesn't mean he can't take hits. He most definitely is super tanky and can take hits. I do consider him a tanky nuker. He is not on the level of a Snick Track or someone else of that nature, but he is most definitely a tanky nuker. He's there to kill champions like, say, Arbiter and other nukers, for example, that don't have high HPs. He takes advantage of them greatly. So I would, stat priority-wise, I would put it speed, accuracy, you want to land and provoke in the A2, HPs, crit rate. Like I said, he's a nuker. You want to get him some crit rate, and then crit damage. After that, resistance is still important, and so is defense, but not so much as the other ones. I put priorities on offensive stats more than defensive stats with this guy. Although he's super tanky, I'll keep saying that. I got the stone skin on him, so you'll see my masteries are the old masteries. I will change them. We got some champion loadouts on the website. I will show you guys those in a second. I have a champion loadout for Angar right here. This explains everything. I got them on the website. I'll show you guys how to find them, how to access them, how to find like someone for Angar. All right, like I said, we got them in 6-piece stone skin. We got revenge accessories. The main priority is speed, accuracy, HP, and crit. These are old masteries. Like I said, I started off with life steal gear. That would facilitate, we needed take some damage and heal up a bit. And I would say that Angar lived part of the fight under 50% HP when he had the life steal set. He would take some hits and he would heal back up. So 100% we used Grim Resolve. We used Life Drinker on the old ways. Now we did go down to Helm Smasher here. The A1 is important, so Methodical is important as well. I'll go over the defensive masteries here, but we're going to reset them and redo them for the Stone Skin set because it makes more sense to have Heart of Glory. He doesn't take damage. He stays at full HP pretty much the whole fight, unless the fight goes really south in some bad way. This build is not as optimal. What I do love is Defiant. I love the resistance. I do love improved parry. I like the damage mitigation from crits as opposed to the AoEs. And I don't mind Bloodthirst, although I prefer Resurgent. You get more damage mitigation from delayed death. And then Cycle of Revenge here is very interesting because, again, we want Angar to get a turn. The build is predicated on him getting a turn, and this just helps that happen. But it does mean you have to build some of your other guys faster if you want them to be ahead of him, like a Buff Stripper, for example. Retribution, I'll probably take this one off because, like I said, early Angar took a lot of damage. The counterattack might be useful. New Angar doesn't take a whole lot of damage at all. I might actually want to run Selfless Defender or even Kill Streak. But Deterrence is not something I'm interested in at all. Go ahead and change them now. We'll go ahead and reset for free. Go down the same way. Portrait is good as well if you lack accuracy, but at the moment, I really do not. That's not a big factor. You have to understand that most of the nukers in the game are not built with high resistance, so you're going to have a very easy time landing your provokes. I think I would actually like to try a Selfless Defender, so if we don't like that one, later we could change it. Since he is a nuker, we could get our turn to come back. We'll skip a Life Drinker this time. Go ahead and go with Cycle of Violence because some of the people he nukes can take 30% of their HP off. So we might be able to get the A2 to come back faster. Keep them provoked faster. This, building more speed, always important for Angar teams. Real quick, I want to double back on the defenses for the arena before I go show you guys the champion loadouts real fast. And I've been doing this with Angar solo, and I've been doing this with Angar duo with the Monkey King Sun Wukong, and it works out very well. He gets a lot of attacks, and he gets a lot of victories. There's very few defeats. He seems to surprise just about everybody. It's a very, very good defense that works all the way up to platinum. Now let me take you guys over to the website and show you guys the champion loadouts real fast. This is what we call the Steel Wall champion loadout. So this is the Angar loadout. It talks about the stone skin, the revenge accessories, comes down over here to the masteries. We've got the blessings. Basically explains the entire kit. You can get there by going either to the Raid Shadow Legends section of the website here. That we can go to loadouts and then you can do a search, or you can go directly to Angar himself on Angar's page and find it here. So I will be adding the lifesteal loadout as well. One last thing I want to mention before I wrap this video up, I want to talk about the Faction Crypts Stage 21 boss. He likes to steal your buffs, and Angar's A2 with the counterattack and reflect damage here just does not work out very well for that fight. It can be detrimental and used against you, so beware about that. You can manual it and work around it, but at the same time, I prefer to do auto fights with other champions and make it faster. So beware about that one. So I'm looking forward to seeing what would they do with them with the champion rebalance. Let's see what kind of buffs they have. See if they change something, to see if he stays the same, if he gets changed. I really would like to see Bravado get buffed up a little bit and see the multipliers buffed up a little bit. Maybe get an AoE counterattack would be nice. But besides that, you know, I'll do another video once they do the buff with them. We'll see what changes there are. Besides that, I'll start launching some more videos here. I'll get a video about the website soon. Start getting this YouTube channel back in order and getting some videos uploaded to it. All right, so hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully you guys are having a great day. You guys take it easy. Peace.